So I was on the phone with my sister today, and she has a southern accent. So when I do impression of her, it's gonna sound like this, And so I'm like, "Hey, Teresa, we're talking about let's talk about heterosexual men." And then she's like, "What about them?" And then I'm like, "You know what? The problem with heterosexual men is they're so worried about their assholes. They're so not just worried about their assholes. They're also worried about other people's perceptions of what goes in or near their assholes. And that's why they're always so like tight. They're always like heterosexual men are like, "Man, I am just I'm just I'm a man. Nothing goes near my butt." And then Teresa's like, "Yeah, you got a point. That's probably why they like stand the way they do and talk the way they do and do their hair the way they do." And I was like, "That's a very lady thing to say about hair, She's like, "Well, it's true, because you want to like remember when they used to have mullets, like mullets, like business in the front and playing in the back or whatever, like you just got to put up this false thing up front, That's what she's talking about, like. But the whole thing about the play in the back is that like there are a lot of like straight men in the world who are like, "Hey, nope, there's no play in the back. There's no play back there. I'm a man. Man, nothing goes in my butt. Nothing goes in my butt except when I'm at home alone with Pornhub. Then there's lots of stuff goes into my butt." Man, this is the funniest thing to me. I've thought about this kind of thing for a while because I've known a lot of like really super straight dudes who look at me like I'm like a very expressive man. I'm like, I'm and then there are quite a few sort of hetero men who are heteronormative. And by the way, I'm not trying to be a bigot against heterosexual men. I want to make that very, 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 very clear. I think everybody deserves to be who they want to be and who they are and who they were born to be and the whole thing. That absolutely, equality for heterosexual men. I'm not one of those people who's like going like straight men are the problem of the world. That's not me. But I do think that there are a lot of straight men, hetero men, who are like, "Don't get anything near that butt." And then on top of that, they carry that around with them wherever they go. So they're all like, "Hey, man, I'm just a standing here or nothing goes near my butt. Nope, I'm a man. I drive a Dodge truck. I'm Ford Tough or whichever brand is toughest. And I got a big beard. I got a ball cap that's got my favorite team on it. Ding! And there's nothing going near my butt. Because my butt is sacrosanct. I got a sacred butt. It was hemmed by the hand of the Lord and little curly cues in a circle. Yeah, I'm a man. I'm a straight man, and nothing goes near my butt. And when I think about those people that like the butt play, no, that's not for me. But, we're in 2023, so there's a ton of like hetero men that are like, "You know what? I think it's great that people are taking in the butt, and they love to put things near their butt. And then they like to like, clean their butt and wax their butt and shave their butt and do all kinds of stuff to their butt." I know plenty of straight men, so I don't want to give anybody the impression that I'm a bigot against straight men or that I think that as a man who's around a lot of hetero men that there's a lot of like homophobia, because there's just not as much homophobia as there used to be. Now, is there still homophobia in the world? Totally. There's plenty of homophobia in the world. However, man, when I was a kid, guys in the South, man, when I was growing up, guys in the South were like, "Those doggone this word and that word, and they just like that butt play," And then that's where all these weird things are in my head about the whole butt play thing, is because they were put there by like guys in the 80s. So what I'm getting at is, if you look at polls and, studies and this kind of thing, if you just look online, you'll see like lots of people who are millennials and, the kids that are younger than that, the Z kids, and probably the alphas, after them. They're all like way more, progressive and lefty. But aside from that, they're just not like, I'm gonna spend all my time worrying about like other people's lives. You know, there's a little bit better that I mean, you know, in terms of sexuality. Anyway, I don't want to get too far off base. What I'm saying is that back in the old days in the 80s, I used to know all these straight men in the South, and they were all like, man, I ain't got no time for no butt. But. I don't even have a butt, man. What are you talking about? I ain't got nothing back there. Nope. No, sirree, Bob. And this is making me laugh because it reminds me of when I was a kid in the South, and everybody's all, oh, ding. You know, there's a lot of that, and there's less of that now. However, there's still a few people out there, a few hetero men out there that are like, you know, I'm just gonna like make sure I'm wearing like a damn, you know, I got me a, I can't even. This is how I do a real straight man. Man, I can't even. I'm panned, by the way. Anyway, that's what we were talking about today, me and my sister. My sister's got this accent. She's like, Doug, what you do today? And I go, oh, Teresa, you know, you got the best accent. She's got like a country accent as opposed to like a redneck's accent. The redneck's accent's like, you know, it's a little barky. My sister's got like just like a country accent. And she was like, yeah, when we were in England, there was a guy at the bar who really liked my accent, you know. Like that was actually kind of a Swedish country accent I just did, you know. And I want you to know that I'm not trying to make fun of anybody. I just like to tell stories about the things that my sister were on the phone today for 4 hours. And here are the things we talked about. We talked about all kinds of stuff, but for a while we talked about heterosexual men's butts. And that's it, you know. I don't have anything else to say. I guess that's it. I hope you're having a fantastic night or day or morning or whatever. And